That's right, it's December. And we have had one of the busiest weeks here ever in our over a year and a half of being up as Totally Guitars. So I'm going to have to blast through everything. So actually, while I'm talking about Christmas, which is coming up, I hope you guys are starting to think about working on some of the Christmas tunes that have been up. We have a huge package of Christmas songs. Some are easy sing-alongs, some are some ragtimey Christmas carols and stuff and things like that. And of course, it's all available to Target members, and of course you could buy the Christmas pack individually if you like to. Or don't forget about gift cards. If you're looking for Christmas presents, think about a 6-month subscription to Totally Guitars to your favorite guitar playing friends. They'll love you. Well, anyhow, some of the stuff that I wanted to get through to tell you about this week is we had the usual pile of Target songs. Elvis, not this one. Different Elvis. Of course, Allison, Elvis Costello. And that was a pretty fun one to put together. Then we had a couple of kind of campfire-y things. John Denver. He didn't play Norwegian Wood. Rocky Mountain High. It's almost the same lick. He kind of borrowed it from that. And then a little Neil Diamond, Solitary Man, one of the easiest songs. I like to show beginners that you can work on Solitary Man. It's a level 2 song, I think, maybe 1, maybe 3, right in there. And we finally finished off On the Horizon. So that brings us to an end of the Dripping Out On the Horizon. Nice little finger-picking tune. And Friday, today, one of the neatest things we've been able to do for a while. Earlier this year, Muriel Anderson came in and did a workshop for students at Joplin and Sweeney and was gracious enough to let us record it and put it up for the Target members. So today the first part of Muriel's workshop went up. So if you want to know more about her, she's a joy to be around, to listen to, a fount of knowledge, and just hope you enjoy Muriel's workshop. There's a little bit more of that coming up. And we've had, of course, some student reviews. We had Willems with a little help from my friends, Poncho and Lefty. Touched on Cats in the Cradle, Buddy's version of Cats in the Cradle. And I got to get to that song, folks. So don't be surprised if you see a little more Harry Chapin. We got a little Neil Young, Comes a Time, and stuff in there too. And some neat things going on the forum. I do want to bring up one thing, the Busking thread. People, this is so cool seeing people put up songs. And I hope everybody knows that this is not just for Target members. This is available to everybody. So feel free to put in your favorite songs. Love the Eric Clapton stuff that we saw. That was actually last week's kind of started. And so uploading videos is pretty cool. Speaking of uploading videos, we do have another new competition. Matt is just always like pounding on the doors looking at cool things. And Disney, we have kind of hooked up with Disney and gotten access to some of their latest couple of documentaries and some remastering of Fantasia. Great movie. I have just really great childhood memories of Fantasia. Of course, it came out in the 40s, so I was already watching it in reruns. Kind of like The Wizard of Oz and other stuff like that. But very simple competition. All you got to do is answer the question that he asks about each one. What was your favorite song from this movie? What the Sherman Brothers? We want to talk about them, the boys as they were called, and or how Fantasia affected your life. So a very short little thing. Extra bonus points if somebody shoots a video response and loads that in as part of their response to the forum. Extra rally points for you if you do that. So what else do we get to? We got another episode of the Chronicles. Somehow somebody heard the story about me teaching on a park bench back in 1979, I think. Way back. I was just a young tyke. I was probably 12 years old. Well, maybe. And did spend the summer of '79 teaching out with the pigeons, and they've followed me ever since. So hope you get a chance to check out Matt's little his foray into comics, the Guitar Chronicles. And then a lot of other stuff is going on with all of those columns. So we even introduced a few new ones just the last couple of days. But we had Acoustic Snapshots with some mandolin playing and some talking about Clarence White's guitar and some flat picking tips and things like that. A lot of cool stuff going on in there. In the Vintage Snapshots, we had a little bit on repairing necks and on old Les Paul and things there, so be sure to check out the Vintage Snapshots that is all this stuff is accessible on the home page. So I know you're probably watching this. Well, this is one of them. This is our On the Beat stuff. And so in On the Beat, we had a few other things today, or this week, tied in with all the other stuff. But we did start three completely new columns that we are just chock full of cool information. One of them is the Luthier's Corner. And this week we started with some of the tips you need to just change strings and things like that. So we are going to keep that rolling. We got a lot of stuff coming. And then we rolled out another, we had some time spent at Guitar Showcase, and you may have seen our music gear review, where Dan Aroney and I are sitting at an upstairs room at Guitar Showcase, is a music store near me that I remember hanging out at a lot when I was a kid, just ogling guitars. Martins, Taylors didn't exist yet, but we'd go in there to play the Martins, because most other stores around, the smaller stores that we could go to, didn't carry Martins. They carried Yamahas and stuff. But they were very nice about letting these punk kids come in, Mike and I in particular, a lot. We'd hang out at Guitar Showcase and play expensive guitars and just dynamite guitars. I should have bought one of those 1969 Martins, but just missed the boat. Well, and didn't have the bucks. Still don't, but that's okay for a 69 Martin. Anyway, that was when they were building them out of Brazilian rosewood. So Guitar Showcase has become just a South Bay institution here in the San Jose area, and they have put together a great package of, well, they have so much stuff. I got to slow down and tell you just a little bit about it at a time. But one of the cool things they get there is Steve Miller stuff. Steve Miller buys gear like you wouldn't believe, and then 6 months later unloads it. He's got warehouses of it stashed in Idaho, and once or twice a year he sends a truck down to Guitar Showcase where they put his stuff back on the market. It's all signed, and some of it's got the names of songs on it and some things like that. So our first episode of Music Gear Reviews takes a look at an acoustic guitar they had from Steve Miller, and then this really bizarre triangular amp that they had. So keep an eye on our gear reviews column, which is going to become, again, an ongoing feature. And the other thing, they have a stash of half-hour episodes of shows that they've shot over the years. So we're bringing you some of those too. And this week there were a couple that were really neat. The first one I think we put out was on Wednesday, and it was just a sampler of stuff from different episodes. Then the second one was on Tyran Porter. Now Tyran was the bass player for the Doobie Brothers from their second album from 1971, when Listen to the Music came out, on Toulouse Street, and lives here in just in the Santa Cruz Mountains, right here, kind of behind me, and is just a great guy around town. Now plays in a band called the White Album Ensemble, which was a group of musicians who got together to perform. It took 8 of them to perform the Beatles' White Album live from top to bottom. This is spectacular. I saw this a couple of years ago back at Villa Montalvo. So anyway, Tyran is just again, a pleasure to listen to. He's got all kinds of great stories, and some talking about the Doobie Brothers. He played with them till 1980, then took a little break and went back and rejoined them in 1987 for special kind of reunions where they were playing a lot of children's concerts that started here at Shoreline. And then they still do an occasional, I think every year they do a children's concert at Stanford Hospital too. So, and also kind of an unusual character in one of these, Makin Music, by the way. So Makin Music is the name of these episodes that we're bringing to you kind of with the help of Guitar Showcase. They interview Scotty Osborne, a guy who bears an uncanny resemblance physically and vocally and everything to Ozzy Osbourne, and has an Ozzy tribute band. So hopefully you've had a chance to check out the episode with Scotty Osborne on it. Quite a character. So I'm not sure I even covered everything. Let's see. We talked about Christmas. We talked about the new stuff on the site. We talked about Disney. Let's see. We do have, I hope everybody's enjoying the country blues tunes, because I think there is more of that floating around. So, and also, I guess I can give you a hint about one of the things that's happening next week. Nah, I can't. But I am still in the process of looking at everything that is on the recommend a lesson list, and have been pulling things off of there. So over the next couple of weeks we'll see some changes in the status of some of those. Some that are way down on the list. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that one yet, but it's a song I really like. And what else is in there? Thinking about doing that too. So a lot of the songs that are at the top of the list are things that may be floating out soon. So with that in mind, I got to get out of here. I'll see you next week. Happy first week of December.